The October chill nipped at Eleanor Thompson's fingers as she approached the gate of Fort Crestwood, clutching a small bouquet of white lilies and a worn leather wallet. At 54, Eleanor moved with a quiet purpose, her faded jeans and patched jacket blending into the grey morning. Her grey hair, tied in a simple ponytail, swayed in the breeze. To the guards at the checkpoint, she was just another civilian, unremarkable, maybe a bit lost. But Eleanor carried a weight no one could see, a past etched into the faded ID card in her wallet, its edges smoothed by decades of handling. She stepped into the fluorescent glare of the security checkpoint, the hum of radios and beeping scanners filling the air. Her eyes flicked across the setup cameras angled precisely, reinforced glass, modern scanners. It was different from her last visit, but the bones of the place were familiar, like an old friend in new clothes. Behind the desk sat Ethan Carter, a 23-year-old security guard with a crisp uniform and a cocky grin. Ethan, from a military family but untested by real conflict, saw his post as a stepping stone and a stage for his growing social media following. His phone, propped beside his keyboard, was always ready to capture something amusing for his 200 followers. When Eleanor approached, he was scrolling through comments on his latest post, half bored on a slow Thursday. Her soft cough pulled his attention, and he sized her up, nervous, outdated clothes, probably confused. "Ma'am, can I help you?" he asked, his tone laced with condescension. Eleanor's voice was steady but soft. "I'd like to visit the Memorial Garden. I have my ID here." She slid a yellowed card from her wallet, its 1994 date stamp glaring under the lights. The photo, a younger Eleanor, was faded but clear, the card cracked and worn like a relic. Ethan's eyebrows shot up. He'd seen old IDs, but this was ancient. Holding it like a curiosity, he assumed she'd dug it up from a dead relative's attic. "Ma'am, this card's from the 90s, he said, chuckling. "You sure you're at the right place?" The amusement in his voice was a spark, and without thinking, he grabbed his phone, hitting record. This was Content Gold, a confused woman with a dinosaur ID trying to bluff her way onto a military base. Eleanor caught the phone's movement, a familiar palm tightening her chest. She'd faced scrutiny before, but being filmed felt like a violation. "It's still valid," she said firmly, her eyes meeting his. Ethan, caught up in his performance, ignored the steel in her tone. "Guys, check this out," he said to his live stream, now at 15 viewers. "Lady's got an ID older than my car. Thinks she's getting on base with this antique." He held up the card, grinning as laughing emojis flooded the chat. Eleanor's request was simple. "Please don't record me. Just scan the card." But Ethan was hooked, his viewer count climbing to 30. "She's asking me to check her clearance, like this thing's gonna work," he narrated, winking at the camera. Comments rolled in, "Fake ID vibes, she's totally lost, boot her out." A few viewers urged caution, but the mob's energy fed Ethan's bravado. "Chat, should I even try scanning this fossil?" he asked, his voice dripping with mockery. The count hit 50, then 80, as his military buddies shared the stream. Eleanor stood patiently, lilies in hand, her dignity a quiet rebuke to his showmanship. "Some IDs don't expire," she said, her voice carrying a weight Ethan missed. "I'm here to honor my husband." The mention of her husband fueled his narrative. "Now she's pulling the widow card," he told his audience, now at 100 viewers. Classic move. The chat exploded, "Manipulation 101, don't fall for it." Eleanor felt each comment like a needle. Strangers, hidden behind screens, tore into her based on a 30-second clip. She'd studied crowd dynamics in her training, knew how anonymity turned people cruel. This wasn't just mockery, it was a public stoning, and she was the target. Yet she held her ground, her eyes scanning the checkpoint's layout, camera angles, scanner model, emergency exits. She wasn't the lost civilian Ethan assumed. Another guard, Lucas Hayes, approached, drawn by the commotion. He'd seen Ethan's text but came to check in person. Lucas frowned at the phone, then at Eleanor's composure. "Maybe call a supervisor, man," he said quietly. "This feels off." Ethan waved him off, high on his 150 viewers. "This is prime content," he said, adjusting his phone to catch Eleanor's face. "We are going viral." The comments grew vicious. "Stolen valor, she's scamming, this is cruel." Eleanor's eyes glistened, but her voice held firm. "I serve this country. I have every right to be here." Ethan scoffed to his camera. "Now she's claiming veteran status. She's committed to this story, guys." But something in Eleanor's gaze shifted, a spark of resolve that cut through the noise. "Young man," she said, her voice now commanding, "some things matter more than your likes." She pressed her ID to the scanner, holding it firmly. "Scan it again. And pay attention." The viewer count hit 250, the chat buzzing with anticipation. "Exposed or surprise?" Ethan typed, egging on his audience. "Is she a fraud, or am I about to eat my words?" The scanner hummed for 10 agonizing seconds, an eternity in live stream time. Comments shifted. "This is getting weird, she's too calm." Ethan's confidence wavered. "Guys, the machine's acting up," he said, voice cracking. Then, every screen went black. Silence swallowed the checkpoint. No beeps, no radios, just the wind outside. Ethan whispered to his 300 viewers, "Everything just died. This is freaky." Eleanor stood unmoved, her serenity a stark contrast to the growing panic. Suddenly, every screen flared to life, a golden eagle emblem blazing across them, its eyes fierce. Bold text followed: presidential protection detail, lifetime authorization, Omega-7 clearance, immediate notification required. Sirens screamed, red light spun, and a robotic voice boomed, security condition alpha. All department heads to command center. This is not a drill. Ethan's phone shook in his hands, the viewer count surging past 1,000. "What the hell is this?" he stammered, his cockiness gone. Lucas, wide-eyed, muttered, "Legacy authorization. I've never seen that." The chat erupted, "Holy crap, she's legit, dude, you're screwed, this is insane." Colonel Laura Bennett, the base commander, arrived, her face shifting from confusion to awe as she read the screens. "Eleanor Thompson," she said, her voice reverent. "The Eleanor Thompson." Eleanor nodded. "Colonel." The word carried equal footing, a quiet assertion of her stature. Ethan's stream hit 4,000 viewers, capturing his horror as he realized he'd mocked a national hero. "I didn't know," he sobbed, his career crumbling in real time. Eleanor remained calm, her authority undeniable. "My name is Eleanor Thompson, Presidential Protection Detail, Service Record 7749. I need to speak with your commander." Lucas radioed frantically, "PPD clearance confirmed. We need you now." The base buzzed with chaos as officers scrambled, the eagle emblem pulsing with encrypted codes tied to classified databases. Eleanor's clearance, still active after decades, triggered alerts to the highest government levels. She'd served in shadows, protecting presidents, her sacrifices hidden from public view. Now, 9,000 viewers watched as she addressed Ethan's camera. "You turned my visit into a circus," she said, her voice cutting through the noise. "I came to honor friends who died for this country. They don't always look like heroes. Sometimes they're just people with old IDs and flowers." The fallout was swift. Ethan's stream hit millions, branding him the guard who humiliated a PPD veteran. He was suspended, his social media flooded with hate, forcing him to go offline. News outlets ran stories on respecting unsung veterans, sparking debates about snap judgments and online cruelty. Eleanor's visit to the memorial wall, placing lilies for fallen colleagues' names like Sarah Lee, 20, and David Chun, 23 became a viral symbol of quiet heroism. A hashtag trended, sharing stories of overlooked veterans, reshaping how society viewed service. Days later, Eleanor requested a private meeting with Ethan, arranged by Connor Bennett. In a tense room, she faced the broken young man, his eyes red from sleepless guilt. "I'm not here to destroy you," she said. "You judged me by my appearance, turned my pain into entertainment. But you can learn." She led him to the memorial, pointing to names etched in granite. "These people died young, protecting freedoms you used to mock me. Respect isn't about titles, it's about dignity." Ethan, humbled, requested a transfer to memorial services, taking a pay cut to guide visitors and study the stories behind the names. A year later, he was a respected historian of forgotten missions, his transformation a testament to redemption. Eleanor's grace defined the moment. "I didn't use my clearance to punish," she said later. "I used it to teach. Heroes don't always shout their stories. Sometimes they just carry flowers." The story left a question hanging: in a world quick to judge, how many heroes do we dismiss? Ethan learned the hard way, but his journey showed change is possible. For Eleanor, justice was the quiet restoration of respect, a lesson carved as deeply as the names on that wall.